and welcome to week 12 of our final week of our English 102 12-week mini session course. This is Professor Valerie Powell from Harold Washington and Wilbur Wright Colleges. This week you'll be making final revisions and edits to your final summative paper, writing your research and revision process reflection, and submitting your final draft of your research paper. Remember, because this is the end of the term, the final research paper must be submitted on time, and extra credit is available if it's submitted early. All the hard work you've been doing over the past 11 weeks is now paying off with the final product. I hope you're very proud of the work that you've done. It's been really incredible to watch you struggle and grow. I feel so lucky to have been able to help you walk through this process. Over the last several weeks, you have developed strong rhetorical skills, both in writing and in analysis, enhanced your critical and creative thinking. You've honed your writing process skills and demonstrated college-level use of MLA citation. Moreover, you have engaged in deep, semester-long college-level research, and you've written a sustained, well-argued, research-informed, college-level, semester-long essay. These are some pretty incredible skills that you've gained. They are all highly marketable and transferable to new contexts. I know that they'll serve you well in the future. Okay, so let's look at some specifics for this week. Like always, we start with the activity schedule, which I have loaded already to save time. This week, you're already doing the first thing to prep for the week, which is watching the Week 12 overview on YouTube. Then you need to prepare the final draft of your research paper, your assignment 12. Let's take a look at that. Now, remember that this is the A12, so you'll be submitting it in this assignment area in Brightspace. Let's take a look at that before we go any further. So we come back to assessments, assignments. And then we scroll down to the research paper final draft, and we submit it there. When you click on that, you can read the guidelines. You can see the rubric. The rubric is really important. You want to check that rubric because this is how you will be graded on your final paper. And once you scroll down past that rubric, you can upload your file. Make sure that you only submit one file for your final draft. Although your paper is going to be asking you to include your revision and research process reflection, that should be added into the same file that you submit for your paper. So everything should be all housed together in one file. Okay, so let's go back. All right, so these are the final draft guidelines. You'll notice here, first off, there's some extra credit available for you. If you submit your paper early by Wednesday of week 12, you'll get 50 points extra credit. If you submit by 9 a.m. on Friday of week 12, you'll get 25 points extra credit. This is to incentivize you turning it in early so that I am able to submit grades on time. And then the final deadline for the paper is Saturday of week 12 at 11:59 p.m. Because our course is ending at 11:59 on Saturday, this assignment will not be accepted late. So you must submit it by that deadline. Okay. So let's look at some of the requirements for this essay. Okay, so the final draft should be submitted on time. It should begin with the research process reflection as outlined below, and I'll explain that more in a minute. It should be on an appropriate topic approved by the instructor, and we've been working on that all semester with the sincere proposal. It should have an introduction that contains an attention grabber, the counter-argument, and an explicit arguable thesis. It should illustrate the necessary background and context required for the reader to comprehend the essay's argument. It should demonstrate organized, coherent paragraphs. It should employ precise, appropriate college-level language, conventions, and mechanics. It should illustrate strong critical thinking and an analysis of your topic. Should include an effective conclusion. It should contain 8 to 12 pages of text that's formatted according to the mandatory paper formatting guidelines for the course. So that means your essay, from your title to your conclusion, should be 8 to 12 pages long. Your revision reflection is not counted in that, and neither is your works cited page counted in those pages of text. The writing of the essay itself should be 8 to 12 pages. Next, you should integrate ideas and MLA in-text and works cited citations from at least 6 credible sources. From but not limited to the following categories. You need to include at least one print book in your citations. So you need to quote from something that's a print book. You must include a peer-reviewed scholarly journal, at least one article or essay. You must have at least one online source and at least one other media, such as a film or a podcast, something like that. Okay, so those are the things that I'm expecting from your paper. Now, when your final paper also, and now these are a little bit more specific, the final draft should also begin with your final research process reflection. So this is what you're going to start your paper with. Okay, and you're going to respond to the following questions and label your answers to the corresponding letter below. Don't retype the questions into your submission. So you'll see here that there are questions A through I. Just type A and then give your answer to that first question. When you're done with that, start a new paragraph, label it B, and give your answer to the next question. I want you to answer each of these questions. Your research process reflection should probably be about 2 pages when it's all said and done. This should be the last thing that you do before submitting your paper. And then once you're done with that research process reflection, then on a brand new page, you should insert a page break and provide your student information, then your title, then your introduction paragraph. And your introduction paragraph should have the attention grabber, the simple counter argument, and the explicit thesis. Then start a new section. You can give a heading for the section with the background. Then when you're done with that section, then you'll put a heading for the first thesis support, and then put that section in your paper. Then put another heading for the counter argument and rebuttal. Label that as a heading and have that section in your paper. Then have a new heading for the second thesis support. Have that be a heading and provide that section in your paper. Then provide a conclusion heading. Provide your conclusion, and at the end of your conclusion, you'll need to insert a page break. Okay, your works cited page needs to start on its own new page. The heading for that page should be works cited, and it should be centered. And then make sure you alphabetize each of your entry according to the first word of the citation. Make sure that they are in alphabetical order. Make sure you're using a hanging indent, and make sure you only have the citations on there that reference the ones that you've used in your paper. Be meticulous about this. Go back through your paper, find that wherever you've cited a source, that source is also on your works cited page. Make sure whatever the first word is of your works cited page is referenced in the body of your text. You should be those words should sync up so that I can find them easily when either in your signal phrase or your parenthetical citation. Those 2 words, the first words of your works cited page, should be what's referenced in your paper. Okay, and then the total page count is as follows: about 2 pages for your research process reflection, about 8 to 12 pages of your actual essay, and at least 1 page of your works cited sources. You'll also find the rubric is here in the guidelines as well. So make sure that this is submitted by Saturday at 11:59 p.m. And then we will be done. It's been a really a pleasure working with you all this semester. I wish you the best, and I can't wait to review your final papers. Have a wonderful day.